Hey everybody, Tracking Pat back again with my buddy here, Tony Casillas, and today we're going to bring up another topic that seems to come across our desks every once in a while. So what do you got for me today, Tony?
Well, one of the questions that I get a lot in the field is arcs. Those have always been one of my hardest to explain, and there's so many things you can do with them. But connecting arcs to another arc, arcs in a Z-plane, sometimes I'll get the questions of like splitting arcs and stuff. But yeah, it's a place that I'd like to be able to see if we can get some what your tips are about the arcs. I think you run across a lot more than I do.
Well, I think arcs can be tricky because a lot of times people get stuck in the geometry of the arc, and then you tend to get those error codes that the ProtoTRAK likes to throw at you. It says something silly like it's impossible to find an arc from the beginning, end, and center given.
That's correct.
And that one drives everybody crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to start out by defining what an arc actually is in a ProtoTRAK. An arc means that if you measure from the center to the beginning, and then from the center to the end, they are exactly the same. Mm. So what happens sometimes is people do a drawing of a part and they round off their numbers maybe to the nearest 5/10. All of a sudden, that 5/10 difference from beginning to center and end to center don't match, and you get that error.
That error, yeah.
That's usually where it comes from. Mm-hmm. So then you got to use something like math help that tells you, hey, give me what you got, and I'm going to give you the real center. Okay, or maybe you go back to the drawing board and say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to drop those tenths when my machine's figuring things out. On a simple arc, like a 1-inch arc, it's easy to know those numbers. But when you start getting into portions of arc, it's a lot harder, isn't it?
That's correct.
And then we have to think about, okay, do we want to do that in just an arc, or do we want to do it in an AGE profile?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Now, the same limitations come in profiles doing arcs as they do in doing milling events, which is that everything's got to be on the same Z plane, has to have the same feed rate and the same speeds, right? But you do get those benefits of how many cuts in the Z axis and having a finished cut. So sometimes you might want to use one over the other. But when you get into doing just standard arcs, you can still connect them together fairly simply by using the inkset button in your beginnings and things like that, which we've shown in the past. So why don't we just start out with a standard arc?
Okay.
Okay, so let's go to the program mode, and I'm just going to swipe forward into here. And of course, what we're talking about is whether to do an arc by itself or do it inside of a profile, right? And we kind of already covered all the things in a profile that are great about it. But the things that are not so great about it is if I do need to change the RPM or the feed rate or the Z axis, right? So let's just do an arc. Okay, so my beginning point, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to do everything at 0. So my first 4 questions are absolute 0. And now let's say what we're trying to do right here is an 1.5 inch arc. Okay, so my X end, right, is going to be 1.5 inches. My Y end is also going to be 1.5 inches.
Right.
My Z end is not going to change in this case, so it's inkset, or we could have said abset in this case, right? Now it's saying, where is that center? Okay, so what I've described is this motion, right? So that would mean my X center is at 1.5. My Y center is still at 0. And my Z center does not change. The one thing I can't do with an arc is have it do this, right? It can't be moving all 3 axes like this, because the center doesn't work out that way. The center can't be in a different position than the beginning and the ends, unless you get into doing helical arcs and things like that, which we'll save for another day, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, it's all in the same Z plane, isn't it?
Yes.
So I don't need a Conrad, although I could put an arc between the arcs, right? And now I have the choice of going clockwise or counterclockwise. The way I've described it is clockwise, and I can use tool offset if needed, all right? So I'm going to throw in an RPM here, and feed rates, and a tool number. And there's the arc that we talked about. So that center is right here, isn't it?
That's correct.
That's how I got the 1.5 and 0 for the center. Okay, so if this arc was going counterclockwise down here, my Y center would still be 0, but my X end would be 1.5, and my Y end would be minus 1.5.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Now, sometimes what people want to do is they want to do an arc like that, but they want to do it in the Z-axis. Okay? Well, now you've just eliminated the profile, haven't you? Because you need to move the Z.
Right.
Okay? So if I wanted to do that in the Z-axis, my numbers might be slightly different than this. Okay? Let's keep the same center point that we started at. And let's keep the same X ending point. But now we're going to make the Y end be 0 and the Z be minus 1.5. Right?
Okay.
So by doing that, you'll see that it's trying to figure it out right now, but it needs a little help. And that's because the centers are incorrect now, aren't they?
Yes.
So in this case, what I'm actually telling it I want to do is this in the Z-axis, which means my 1.5 is still correct, but my Y center, think about that, my Y center is actually going to be 0, and my Z center is going to be 0. Okay, now in order to see that, I've got to actually change the plane.
Yes.
And now I'm looking at it from the front view or the XZ plane, and I can see that I started at 0, 0, and I got to here. Now that brings up a very important thing. If I want to start an arc and it's a true 180 degrees of arc, if I start at Z0 and I end at Z0 with one arc, how's it going to know that it ever moved in the Z-axis?
That's very correct.
It's not going to know, is it?
Right.
So because of that, what I'd have to do is I'd have to make a second arc and break it in half. So I would come in here and say, do another arc, and you know that trick of no change, right? I want this arc to start where the other one left off. My X end is now going to end at 3 inches, right? My Y end is going to come back to 0, or stay on 0, I should say, and my Z is going to come back to 0. And my center's in the same place as it was before. It's right up here, right?
Right.
So it's at 1.5 and 0 and 0, okay? There's no Conrad. We can keep all the rest of this stuff the same. And now you've got a full 180 degrees of arc, all right? So if I have to do that type of an arc where it can't see from the center being here that it's going this way or this way, you just break it into 2 pieces. And now you got it, okay? From there, you can do anything you want with this arc. You could go and rotate it around and turn it into a half of a sphere or whatever you want to do. But the first initial parts have to be correct in the way that it configures an arc. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Now I can show you something else that I'm going to go back and I'm just going to delete this to give you a little better idea. And we're going to change this arc a little bit. And we're going to do exactly what I talked about. So we're going to end at 3 inches, right? We're going to say that our Y end is 0 still and our Z end is going to go back to 0. This is where the machine doesn't see. See what I see? There's no arc anymore, right? And it doesn't know how to do that. However, if in this case it wasn't 180 degrees of arc, that would mean that actually my Z center would be above 0 to create this part of an arc. So let's put that Z center at 1 inch. See, now I've got an arc with only one event.
Nice.
But that's because it's not 180 degrees. It's a portion of an arc. So as you can see, my center is somewhere up above. So depending on what type of an arc I'm going to cut, in the Z-axis, it can tell me whether I need to use more than one piece to describe what the machine's going to understand. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Very useful.
Now, I can also do stuff like have a milling event that comes into an arc and then another milling event that goes away and stuff like that. And I can create an entire shape inside of the ProtoTRAK, still using the conversational language. Okay? It's a little bit more tedious because there's not a profile that connects it all together.
That's correct.
Okay? But it can still be done and you can do some really fancy work in here. Most of the time when people are doing full 3-axis work, they're probably using a CAD/CAM system of some type to create a program because it's a pretty big program.
That's very
But sometimes all the guy's got to do is something simple like this. It's like, hey, I don't need to bother with the computer and everything. I just need to understand what I'm getting when I'm talking about arcs. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
So, you know, again, like we kind of talked about earlier today, you know, you can add a finished cut by lying to the tool size, right? So you could do a repeat of what I just did and then change it. That doesn't come in play so much here. The reason is because once I start working in the Z-axis, you're almost always going to be tool on center instead of the way we just did this on left.
Right.
Okay, because the machine's going to assume it's a ball nose end mill. So the one thing that I would change is I would change this to center, right? and that puts the tool on center. Then what you got to remember is if you think of my finger as the end mill is going to start tangent to 0. And it's going to end tangent to 3 inches and 0, isn't it? So in reality, in order to get that full arc to work, you got to remember where that tool is going to come into. It's going to come down to that point where the tool is already in the material, isn't it? So you might want to have a little piece before this that the tool can already be offset when it gets there and let it roll that corner with either using a Conrad or something like that, so that it's already set up for the tangent point before it enters and when it leaves the arc.
That's correct.
Okay, so I know we don't do a lot of videos on Z-axis arcs, but it isn't really that difficult if you just understand what I told you right out of the gate today, which is it has to be a true arc, which means you've got to have the same distance from beginning to center as you do from end to center, and it'll work all day long.
Right.
Now, obviously, if you can do this stuff in the profile, it's a little different, isn't it?
That's very right.
So let's go back here and delete this once. And let's go to profile. And again, it's going to be an irregular profile because it's not a circle or a rectangle, right? So let's start out kind of the same way, but this is all going to be in one Z plane. So we've got 0, 0 to start, right? Our tool can be offset in this case without a problem. I can do multiple passes. So if I want to go 250 every time I do a pass and I want to get 1 inch deep, I can do that by telling it so, right? All I would do is change that to -1. Okay? Down here, I want to leave a finish cut now. I can do that just by answering the question. In the RPM, I'm just going to use what I did before. Okay? I'm going to use all the same feed rates anyway because it's sort of fictitious, isn't it?
Yes.
And I do have the ability to use 2 different tools, so I can rough with one and finish with another, which is another advantage that you got using the profiles, right? But we're just going to use one for this, and we've got a starting point. And so now when I do that arc, I can simply say, hey, this arc is clockwise, right? I'm going to end at 3 inches and 0. And notice it never asked me about the Z-axis, right? The reason why is if I swipe backwards and go back to the top view, there's my arc so far, right? And so it's saying, hey, you know, I kind of got half the information, but I need a little bit more, don't I? I need to know where the middle of that arc is.
Right.
The middle of that arc is at 1.5 inches and 0. And now you see that it's a true arc, right? And you got the OK light in there. So the nice part about the profile is I got less questions to ask. The bad part about the profile is I don't have as much ability to maneuver how I want that arc to happen, right? So there's pluses and minuses to both ways of doing it. The other positive to using this is if I don't have all the right information, I can actually use the AGE features in order to figure it out. So remember when I was telling you about how sometimes you might be off by a few tenths and it says, I don't like that arc? Well, in here, I could have used guess as the centers and then said, hey, this is 1.5 inch arc. And it would have said, I got it, and it fill in the answers for me.
That's very correct.
You know, so then even if the guy giving me the program is shaving the tenths here and there, the machine will do it for me. So there's definitely an advantage to profile if you're on the same Z plane. But if I'm not, then those other arcs are definitely going to come into play. Does that make sense to you?
Makes sense a lot. That AGE is a very powerful tool.
You know, it's really a shame that a lot of people have never taken the time to really learn how to use it. You know, and if you're out there watching this video and you're not good at AGE, look for those videos we've previously done that explain how it works. I do a fairly good job of breaking it down to simple math. And once you get it and that light bulb goes off, you go, you know, that ProtoTRAK guy, he knows a thing or two. And the truth of the matter is you'll know it too. And when you get to that point, man, there's nothing you can't program in a ProtoTRAK. It's just a little bit of understanding how it works. You know? That's all there really is to it. Well, I think that kind of covers arcs in this case. And, you know, somewhere down the line, maybe we'll have to do something like this that covers arcs and mills together or something. Yeah. Well, for now, I think we covered that subject pretty good. What do you think?
I think so. I think this is going to help.
Very good. Well, thanks a bunch, Tony. Thanks you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video.